Thank you for joining us for our pre-match press conference ahead of our match with Atlético Ottawa this weekend. To get started, Mickey, you can go ahead.
Tommy, we're going to be announcing our 2021 regular season schedule on Monday afternoon, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on what that means to you, knowing that, by the end of the month, early August, you'll be playing in your own markets again in front of fans.
I think it's music to my ears, Mickey. It's something we've been training for, waiting for, wishing for, and now that it's real, we knew that going into this kickoff was a required situation based on the fact that this is the world we live in. But the fact now we have the opportunity to go back to ATCO Field after not having played there for over a year is going to be very, very special, and we can't wait to be on home at Spruce Meadows in front of our fans.
And what's the one thing you're most looking forward to for that first time you walk out onto the pitch at Spruce Meadows?
Just that you can feel the vibrations. There's an energy that as you walk out, to the left, it's the foot soldiers. To the right, it's the grandstand. And straight ahead of me is my family section in the 408s. And I think as soon as we come out, it's the perfect corner because you just feel the vibration of the fans, you feel their energy, and our players do too. So I think the feel and the senses, I think they're going to come alive.
And last question, your message to your fans and supporters about seeing them in a few weeks.
It's coming home. Or we're coming home.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mickey. We'll take our next question from Moses.
Thanks, Paige. And Tommy, when you said we're coming home, it almost sounded like you're cheering for England there a little bit.
Well, it's subliminal messaging. We're coming home. Our home, our place is at Spruce Meadows, and football is coming home in England too. So yeah, it's a good time.
Okay, so it's safe to say the important question is England, Italy. What's your score?
I think it's going to go to extra time or PKs, and I think England are going to do it on PKs.
All right. Well, I'm sure that a lot of England fans are going to be disappointed, but I think maybe you're just setting the bar low and hoping for better expectations there for Team England. But just going on to talk about your team. Now you're going to be facing Atlético Ottawa. It's going to be the first time you're going to face a team for the second time in the bubble. What are you going to expect this time around, or what have you told your players to prepare for a rematch, knowing how decisive that game was in your favor?
We've talked about it as once we played 4 games, we'll have a good idea of each of the opposition, but then it gets harder because now it gets like the games that we got to play 4 in 10 days. So having not had so many games to then play a bunch of them, there's going to be fatigue, there's going to be niggles, there's going to be loss of form, mental lapses. So right now it's about who stays stronger for longer. And that's what we're talking about, is being able to suffer, embrace the suffering, and find the comfort in the uncomfortable. And I think we're looking forward to that challenge.
With a season like this, kind of just alluding to what Mickey was saying about the full schedule and the 28 games that are expected to be played this season, it's a marathon, not a sprint. But however, you're playing your final 4 matches here in the bubble. How crucial are they to kind of get on the right foot, knowing the last 2 results and getting 3 points?
We came in this, we wanted to get players as many minutes, balance it as possible, and come home as healthy as possible with a healthy bank account of points. They were all objectives we wanted to achieve. After we've won more than we've lost. We got our first loss last night, and I think we can pick up more points. I think we've seen enough of our group to see some of the chemistry that's starting to emerge, and I think we're going to be stronger now once we get the arrivals of Joe Mason and Ollie Minitel. They arrive on the weekend. We've also got Sergio Camargo and Davey Norman day to day, and hopefully upon their return they give us a different dimension as well. So there's some good news ahead of us too.
And just my last question, and following up on just what you mentioned, those 2 men, much like Minitel, and just having him back in the lineup, that's going to help, especially like you said, you're going to have a stretch here, 4 games in just over a week and a half.
Yeah, so we need bodies, right? Whoever's got the jersey, we're going to have to plug and play, and that's what we need. We need good bodies, we need good mindsets, and we need to give a good account of ourselves, because every game is important. Because it's different than the Island games where finishing in the top 4 after 7 games mattered. Right now, we got to finish in the top 4 after 28 games, and being able to go home gives us good stake because we've always had a really good home record, and we're one of only 2 clubs that play on grass, so that's a really good advantage to us.
Thanks, Tommy.
Thanks, Mo.
I'll let Brett. You can go ahead next.
Thanks, Paige. Tommy, just sort of further to what Moses was asking, what do you expect to see in Ottawa this weekend that maybe you didn't see the first time around? They're the only team with 3 losses. Do you expect a sense of urgency?
Yeah, I think they'll have probably watched last night and thought, okay, that's how Forge cut us open. I imagine that's how they're going to try and get at us. And perhaps now, because we beat them convincingly in the last game, if that shoe was on the other foot, you'd be playing us tougher, you'd be playing us tighter, and I think it's going to prove to be a very cagey match. And that's what we talked about with our guys is, being ready to suffer and being ready to deal with, things that aren't always going to go our way. And that's how good teams are made. It's not that it doesn't always have to be pretty. Sometimes you got to roll your sleeves up and be gritty as well. And we think they'll give us a tougher test this second time through, because now they've played us. Now they'll have a better understanding how to prevent and how to try and penetrate.
I know the Euros were touched on early here. I'm sure a lot of people within the bubble have been watching throughout, paying attention. But as a coach, as a team, what have been some of the takeaways from watching one of the top events globally?
And you've got another one in there with the Copa America, because we've got some South Americans on the team, especially with the Brazil and Argentina final. We've got a couple of Brazilians that have really been enjoying that side. The best players always perform at the best times, and that's what we've probably taken away is when it matters, the big players step up, and they're big players because they step up in the big moments. And and it's the same as even with the PK shootouts. You're talking about Mbappe missing the last one, but usually it is only the big players that take the important penalties. So you'll have a lot of turns. And also, a lot of these teams have used the substitutions very, very well. They've been able to manage and rotate. And I think that's been an important, valuable lesson, because that's how the modern game is working now is they're no longer substitutes. They are game changers.
Thanks, Tommy.
Benedict, we'll take our last question from you. You can go ahead.
Thanks, Paige. Tommy, I was wondering what you made of the Atlético backline, and especially, do you think that maybe they've been better than the numbers suggest, I guess?
Yeah, they're a good side. I mean, I think we had one of those days where we were just on our game. We were fresh. We moved the ball brilliantly. We were good on our press. We were good on our playing through. We were clinical on our finishing. So I think, it was probably did them a little injustice, because I think they've been tight in all their other games. And, I'm sure now, like I said, now they've played, they're going to play a different contest. But they're a very good side. Mister's a very smart coach. We knew that and learned that last year. He took a group of guys and started getting them to perform near the end. I know they've had time, and it's only a matter of time for them to start finding a rhythm. And I think this season we're seeing as well, Benedict, that this is going to be a season where you're going to see a lot of teams taking points off of each other because of the timeout and because of the strength in class across the whole league. I think it's a lot closer than it ever has been.
And 4 games in, a couple weeks in, how has life been in the bubble, and have you sort of got used to it, I guess, if it is possible to get used to it in the bubble?
Repetitive. It's eat, sleep, drink, repeat. And right now we're about half an hour away from leaving you to go out to do our recovery session on the field, come home, shower, meal, meetings, bed. It's all the same. So I think you just get a case of being an autopilot now. And that's why when we have a result that doesn't go our way, we've had several that has gone our way, and you just got to say, okay, ride the highs and lows, move on to the next one, and bank as many points as we can.